Hello and welcome back to another live stream, people. Make sure to smash a like and subscribe if you are new as you're coming in. And yeah, as I said on the community notes, a lot of you will already know. Um, if you're like one of the guys on the channel, you're one of the main subscribers, you will look at the community page for updates and stuff like that. I've been saying that I'm gonna do less watch alongs. I've been considering doing less watch alongs anyway. And what I want to do is do more interactive streams. Now, there's going to be more. I won't stop doing watch alongs altogether, but I feel like it's very good to do interactive stream content. Let me take my glasses off, because I feel like these are the better streams that we do. Like we teased some of it on some of the previews before and stuff like that. And also because basically when I watch games, they're on the screen on my left, so I'm constantly facing sideways. So you'll constantly just see the side of my face. When I'm just doing interactive streams, I could just look at the comments and stuff like that and interact with you guys as well. I'm just gonna do a normal stream. Like we're gonna probably do this a lot for the transfer news that's coming up. And yeah, there's been a bit of transfer news. It kind of went quiet a little bit. I dropped my West Fotheringham video already, but there's been a bit of news. So first of all, sure, I've got the wrong news up first, but it started off quite bad. Because obviously, as you guys would have seen a couple of days ago, we got the here we go of Fabricio Bruno from Fabricio Romano, the fellow Fabricio. Um, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We should only really trust ex-West Ham employee when it comes to West Ham news, because as much as Fabricio and David Ornstein are quite reliable, it's better to trust the guy who's always given us news for the past few years at West Ham United. Honestly, it's actually mental seeing some of the news that still comes out till this day about West Ham. And the reason why I say that is because even though no matter how good we are, no matter how bad we are, we get typical West Ham news. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it was a talk about Fabrizio Bruno. Now, the deal has slightly collapsed. I'm going to share this thing from West Ham Views and News. From the sounds of it, the Bruno deal was ready to be concluded, but then the player himself asked us to pay him a lot more money than we originally agreed and said no. Considering he was the replacement for our fifth choice centre-back, I think that's fair. Fifth? I think you mean fourth. Just because the reason why I say that is because he was meant to be the Angelo Ogbonna replacement. Obviously, we have Zuma again in Mavropanos. Unless I'm forgetting, there's another centre back. It wasn't fifth choice; it was a fourth choice centre back replacement. However, this guy was meant to be a starter at the same time, or someone that's going to be in the squad, because we wanted to sign two centre backs anyway. Now, I've seen links with Jacob Greaves from Hull City, and we've been linked with him for the past couple of months anyway. So that's probably going to be the next guy we go for if that Fabrizio Bruno thing does not conclude. And it is a shame, because I was celebrating early business, and all of a sudden, the guy wants more money, and Tim Steidten is gone to Brazil again to try and do some deals. If the guy wants more money, I think that's a big red flag in general. It's like when you are trying to get to know someone, friendship, relationship, or whatever, and you see a red flag that they may do or say something, and then you just are more wary of them. It's a bit like the transfer window. Now, this guy wants more money. Fuck off then. Just don't pursue the deal. Like, you don't have to pursue the deal either. You don't have to. You could just move on to another deal. I get why Tim's trying to revive it, and I don't know why people are trying to blame Tim Steidten for it. But the guy wanted more money. I don't know how that's Tim Steiden's fault, but you know what people are like. Tim Steidten hasn't done anything wrong since he's come to West Ham. He hasn't done anything wrong. I'm not calling him the Messiah or anything, but we actually have a bit of structure at the club, and it's like people complain about the ownership, but also want to complain about Tim Steidten. It doesn't really make any sense, in my opinion. And I knew nothing about this Fabrizio Bruno guy, but it seemed like it was a target that would have fit maybe Lopetegui's style. Someone that's not awful on the ball, but someone that's somewhat competent. That's also got pace. As I said about, obviously we're going to be probably be playing higher up the pitch and trying to control games, and so you need those kind of players in your team. Jacob Greaves, however, I've watched a bit of him at Hull City. I haven't watched enough of Jacob Greaves to tell you to give you a full analysis on him, but he's a left-footed centre back that would do well for us, in my opinion. Just decent on the ball, young player, and championship signings. I've been a champion of champion. Like I've been championing championship signings for a while, and they usually go down well anyway. And I think it's a good market to look at. Like if you're trying to look at a player that's motivated, a player that's ready, you look at a championship player. Sorry, big up to George, by the way. Big up to George. He left a comment for like 40 minutes before the stream started. In Tim we trust, indeed. In Tim we trust. Trust in Tim should be the slogan going forward in this summer and for the future, for as long as he's here. Um, but yeah, Jacob Greaves, that could be someone that we go for. It does look like we're trying to do early business. It looks like we are actually trying to go for our targets early. If you look at previous transfer windows, like just over the past few years, whether it's under Moyes and even before David Moyes, whether it was Pellegrini and Bilic, etc., we did some early business, I'm pretty sure, with Pellegrini when he had that big transfer window. However, that was under via a lot of agents. I'm not saying agents aren't completely involved now. However, let's be serious here. Like, it's not the be all and end all nowadays. Like Will Salthouse will probably still be in the ear of people because he's got bare clients and he's, I'm pretty sure, a friend of David Sullivan's. But um, we've got a structure now, and people are complaining. Because the thing is, I saw a source from this Brazilian journalist talking about Fabricio Bruno has rejected the West Ham offer and remained at Flamengo. I was wondering what the fuck is going on. Like this is the best part. It's not an agent thing. It's not an agent thing at all. Like usually you'll get these agents within this football space, and they would want more because there's an agent fee. They would want more, but it has nothing to do with the agent. It has more to do with what the player wants for his normal wage, and it doesn't look like we've given up on a deal. There's no confirmation on that. Fabricio said that we're deciding and stuff like that. I don't know what ex-West Ham employee has said about that specifically, whether we're still pursuing the deal or not. Maybe one of you that subscribe to the Patreon can say, but I don't know whether we're still going to pursue the Fabricio Bruno deal. When stuff goes like a deal like that goes slightly downhill, usually we wouldn't be able to continue that. It's like, don't get me wrong though, like the Emerson deal was off and we got Emerson, the Paquetá deal was off and we got Paquetá. I'm pretty sure the Kudus deal was looking at slightly ropey as well. The Ward-Prowse deal was slightly ropey. There was a bit of a trend with that. And listen, I trust Tim to at least come back with some sort of Brazilian target, and we will get on to what the title says as well. I do trust in Tim. I do trust in Tim. And the thing is, usually when this Fabrizio Bruno stuff, like deals like that happen, again, it's usually to do with the agent. Not only that, though, it's usually to do with the club wanting more. The club were more than happy with the offer because they felt like they could reinvest it. But it also seems like these Brazilian players are going in for a bit of money. They're going in for a bit of money. They're slightly pricey and they're looking to profit off them. And it looks like the Brazilian league has improved because a lot of teams want to go for these Brazilian targets. Now, unfortunately, I've never watched the Brazilian league, so I can't, like, for whoever we're linked with, like, I can't give any analysis on the player itself. I can only do what we all do, and that's watch comps of the player. I didn't watch Aged before he was here. I only watched a couple games of Paquetá. Scamacca, I didn't watch. I just knew he was of interest and stuff like that. Like, just players that I've watched Edson Alvarez and Kudus enough before they joined us. Like, I knew they were good players, especially Kudus. I watched him for Ghana and Ajax, just because they played a few games in the Champions League that I watched, and like against Rangers and Liverpool. I watched them both. I didn't think we would ever get them. However, they played well in those games that I remember watching. I remember Kudus scoring that goal at Anfield and thinking, yeah, this guy's mad. But do you know what? I was looking at that news of the Fabrizio Bruno stuff, and I thought, oh fuck, this is typical West Ham. We are looking to get a deal over the line, um, and then it goes to shit. However, literally, what 20 minutes later, a bit like when Kendrick responded to Drake 20 minutes later, this pops up. Fabrizio Romano says, understand West Ham are in talks for Brazilian talent Luis Guilherme. I don't know how to pronounce that. As negotiations advance for 2006 born winger. I'm born in 2003. This makes me feel old, and I'm only 20. Package being discussed around 30 million fee plus sell-on clause. Waiting for next steps. West Ham to decide soon on Fabrizio Bruno after personal terms, new issues. Money. 30 million, that for someone like that means he's going in the first team. We're not Chelsea. We don't spend like 30 to 50 million on youngsters that we can sell on or whatever, or maybe use for the future in the first team. We can't do that. We're not of that financial gain or whatever the phrase is, but we're looking to sign this guy who was born in 2006, meaning he is 18 or he's 17 turning 18 this year. And this guy, this would never ever happen under David Moyes, which proves that Tim Steidten never really had much of a say in the David Moyes era, because David Moyes likes to take control. David Moyes likes to take control of the whole structure above himself. Like Rio Ferdinand even said that at Man United, he wanted to do that. He wanted to do everything, which kind of leads to his failure sometimes. But that's why a director of football is important, or a technical director, whatever you want to call it, and a head coach. You know, a guy just does the thing on the pitch, says, I want this profile, I want this profile, I want this profile, and then the guy goes and gets it for you. Moyes wanted Phillips. Moyes wanted Maguire. Moyes wanted McTominay. Moyes wanted Gallagher. He just wants big, brute English men. I'm all for getting English people in the club as long as they're the right profile, you know, the right players as well. There's not many good mainstream English players. And when I mean mainstream, I mean those big names out there. I'd say go to the championship and get yourself some English players. And yeah, we've got to fill in the homegrown quota as well. So Jacob Greaves would help with that. The stream as well, by the way, guys, was meant to be originally not just talking about West Ham, just talking about other things as well, but also there's stuff with. I don't know whether we're still interested in Wesley, but he seems to be a top target at the club as well. Steidten made a trip to Brazil before, and he's made a second trip to Brazil. So we'll see how that goes, but he should come back. Not even necessarily with a guaranteed player, but with enough players on the list that this club could go and pursue the deal, etc. Because they said they were going to sign 2 players before July, or they're hoping to get 2 deals done before July. Obviously, West Foderingham hopefully is not one of them, in terms of it doesn't count as 2 of the deals before July. Like, because that's a free agent, like whatever. That's a third choice goalie as a free agent. However, there's Brazilians out there that we're interested in, and we're trying to get in for the first team. What I like is that we as fans can look at it and be like, well, there's positions that we need, etc. Like, we need this, we need that. But what I do like is the fact that it's reflected within the club as well. So what has happened is, like, apart from Aaron Cresswell as a left-back option, there's all the positions that I want us to address. We're pretty much addressing. So like left winger, box to box midfielder, trying to get 2 centre backs. So I'm interested to see, because Fabricio Bruno was one of them, and obviously we're interested in Jacob Greaves as well. I don't know whether the plan was to get both. Who would you guys keep? Because I would just keep Mavropanos, and I would sell the rest of the set. I would sell Zuma and Aged. I would listen, if Aged stayed, I'll give him a chance under a new manager, but I would rather him sold. As much as I've said everyone deserves a clean slate, doesn't mean I'm gonna say, yeah, just keep everyone, because why would we buy anyone? Obviously, some of the money that we spend does also depend on player sales as well, but we do need to spend this summer. It's very important that we spend this summer. We've gone through the rebuild twice. I've done videos on the rebuild twice before, but players like Suchek, players like Sufal, players like Zuma, they don't stand a chance in playing this kind of football. I'd say everyone else does. Even Aaron Cresswell, who's technically all right, it's just the fact that he's got lack of mobility, and I have a feeling that he will get targeted by wingers. Now, luckily, he won't play as much as Emerson. I don't want him at the club anymore, but whatever. That has passed now. He's pretty much got a year triggered extension. So has Fabianski, but that is that's fine in my opinion. I think Fabianski is fine as a backup, can still do a job as a first choice goalie. Don't think he'd be able to pass out the back. I think we've seen before that Fabianski's distribution is actually very bad. It's actually quite terrible. And I trust in this structure. It actually feels like for the first time since I've been a West Ham fan that we've actually got a structure. We've got a modern structure as well. It actually would have been um, quite upsetting if we had not got someone like a Steidten above the manager. Because if you look at every club within the Premier League, they've all got a structure. They've all got someone that works with the manager. Edu works with Arteta. I don't know who the fuck Man United's director of football is, but they're going to work with whoever the new manager is, or whether it's Ten Hag that stays or whatever. They've got Winstanley and Stewart with Maresca at Chelsea. They've got that Sevilla guy with Emery. Like everyone works the same way. Like they've got whoever's working at Brighton now with whoever the next manager is going to be. But everyone has a modern day structure, and this is how people recruit now. They have their team, and they get it for their head coach, mainly head coach. Everyone's called a manager now, but a lot of people are just head coaches. Like it's good that we've actually got a coach. That's what I will say. It wasn't my first choice. I was quite angry about the appointment, but at the time. But however, I will get behind him. I will get behind him as the manager. I do have my doubts, um, but I do think it actually be better than what we've been watching the past 2 years, like in terms of visually, and maybe not straight away with league position. I need to watch that Jack Sullivan uh, interview with, I forgot the presenter's name, but she's been around a bit. Because there was a preview of does Lopetegui need to get Europe, and Jack Sullivan started and said, I don't want to say that. So there's got to be a plan to get back into Europe. I'm not expecting it first season. Second season though, if I can see something and I'm confident in you to do something for the next season, then I need to see Europe. I'm not saying it's the be all and end all. I need to see a European race at least. I need us to be up there. But we've now had to raise expectations because of the state, not only just the stadium move, but our recent times in Europe. Like, why shouldn't we wish for more, guys? Why shouldn't we be more ambitious? So you're telling me that small clubs should only wish for small things? Do you not strive for anything in your life to criticize someone like that? Like that's what these pundits do. I don't know whether they take that into their own lives and they don't wish better for themselves, but everyone wants to wish better. Whether it's in life, in football, whatever. You can relate it to anything. So I don't understand why you don't want to keep the standards of your own clubs, but you also want us to see out as the way we are. I think it might be lagging. Hold on. Connection is unstable, apparently. I don't know what's happened there. I don't know whether people can still hear me or not, but the connection is not good. For anyone, I'm gonna carry on talking, but doesn't look like the connection is connecting. We should be back now. Connection is fairly good, apparently. It says on my StreamYard, but yeah, as I was saying, we should only wish for more. We should only wish for more, and hopefully that's what we get under this new regime under Steidten and Lopetegui. It's very hard to like see what we could do with it within the realms of May when it comes to transfer news. There seems to be a lot of transfer news already. And I get it because we're in May, and that happens a lot nowadays. Where even before the transfer window's open, there's transfer news. Like pretty much as soon as the season has ended, there's been transfer news. However, what I will say is the fact that we've seen reports of Steidten and Lopetegui are already working on deals. So part of me is not surprised, but part of me is surprised just because we shouldn't believe everything we see. I'm surprised that we're doing early business and trying to do early business, and my video technically wasn't wrong about us doing early business, but it was probably going to be West Fotheringham as our first signing. So take that for what you will, but West Fotheringham, as I've said many of times, he's not going to play. But what he will do is fill a homegrown quota. I cannot find any reports of saying that that's a guarantee yet, but whatever in it, whatever. And hopefully I see us linked to some right backs soon. I want to see us linked to some right backs. Obviously, the midfield stuff is going to be a bit interesting because we've got Ward-Prowse, we've got Souček, we've got Downs coming back, we've got Potts coming back, we've got Alvarez. Now, I don't think Potts will be included. Obviously, George Earthy as well, but George Earthy is a number 10. So when I'm talking midfield, I'm talking number 8. But we've got 8s that play as 6s sometimes, and we've got just straight out number 6s in Alvarez and Flynn Downs. And I keep Ward-Prowse, I'd sell Souček, I get another number 8. That's what I would do. I don't think this club's going to actually go for a number 8. I think that's going to be the last of their priorities. But I want to see links to strikers that are actually good. It seems to be that we're going for wingers and centre backs first. I don't know anything about this Jota Silva guy. I don't even know who he plays for. That's an AI Portuguese name, as I've said many a time, as an NPC Portuguese name. So I don't know anything about him. Same with this Guilhereme guy. Same with this Wesley guy. I'm assuming this Guilhereme guy is a left winger. I don't know how to say his name either. So if I'm pronouncing it wrong, please correct me. But a striker as well. We definitely need a striker. We need. I'm surprised that they're going after 2 centre backs, because I'd agree we need 2 centre backs, but surely that means someone like Azuma is being replaced as well. Surely his future is in doubt. I'm assuming the captaincy is in doubt just because it's a new manager and Zuma's only been captain for a year. We've lost 2 captains in a row, Noble and Rice, so the captaincy thing is pretty much in the air. Now Ward-Prowse was linked with getting the captaincy. I'd give it to Alvarez for me because he's the spine of the team and he's probably going to be more of a starter, I assume. I wouldn't give it to Bowen. I don't see a leader in Bowen. I just see a professional senior player. I just don't see a vocal leader. I'm not criticizing Jared Bowen. Does captain come to mind when you think of Jared Bowen? For me, it's just a good goal scoring winger, a very good goal scoring winger. Whether he gets to the Euro squad or not is none of my business because regardless, if he goes to the Euros, he probably won't play. But the only problem is if he goes to Euros, it'll be very delayed in him getting into pre-season. If he doesn't get into the Euros, he gets a full rest. So it doesn't really bother me whether West Ham players get called up or not. The thing is, there's still international players in this side that are going to international duty doing friendlies. So they're going to be late to pre-season as well. So I'm assuming from the top of my head, let's say we don't sell anyone before pre-season happens. I think we're facing Dagenham and Redbridge. We're facing Palace and Wolves in the US. Facing Betis and Sevilla, apparently. Facing all those teams. Let's say everyone comes back and there's no sales, that we're not sold anyone before pre-season apart from Ben Rama that might go on loan. I mean, that might make that the loan might be permanent. So that means Fabianski comes back because I think Areola's been called up to the Euro squad, but obviously he won't play, but he'll still have a holiday. I actually need to check this. No pun intended, because I could have sworn that the Czech Republic are not in the Euros. I don't know why it's lagging so much. My internet's been fine. Okay, they are in the Euros. They are in the Euros. So Souček and Sufal won't come back straight away. Zuma will. I don't think Greece are in it. Let me check if Greece. Let me check if Greece are in it. Are Greece in the Euros? They're not, but they've got friendlies. So let's say Mavropanos still comes back. Let's say he still comes back within pre-season. They have 2 friendlies. He should have enough holiday then to come back in pre-season. Maybe he'll be have a slight delay as everyone else. Mavropanos comes back. Zuma comes back. Emerson comes back. Aaron Cresswell comes back. I'm going to assume Alvarez, same as Mavropanos, he's got called up and he'll come back, same as Kudus as well. Ward-Prowse will come back. Potts, Earthy, Downs. Because Potts and Earthy are going to be included in the pre-season, and Flynn Downs is our player. Paquetá's been called up for Copa America. I'm assuming that's still going ahead despite the bet. His call-up is still going ahead despite the betting charges, so I'll try and keep an eye out for him as well. Mohamed Kudus, as I've already said, depending on if Bowen gets called up for the Euros, we'll see if he comes back. We'll say no for now. Let's say he doesn't come back due to the fact he's gone to the Euro squad. And who else have we got? Maxwell Cornet, he'll come back. Antonio as well. I think he might have been called up to international duty. I'm not too sure. And Danny Ings. I forgot about Danny Ings. So those are the players that I've listed will come back straight away into pre-season due to the fact that they are not going to a major tournament in their internationals. Some of them might still be going to internationals, but doing 2 friendlies. Don't know why any nation that's not got called to international tournament are doing friendlies, but I guess that's those are the warm-up games for the teams that are actually in the tournament. So fair enough, I guess, because they probably don't want to face an opponent that is possible to face in the tournament. I guess that's the reason. I'm not too sure. Funny that, because I actually think the England games are like next week or something. So it'll be interesting to see about that. I'll preview that another time. But yeah, next Monday is one of them. Next Monday and next Friday as well. By the way, if anyone thinks I'm doing the England watch along, no. It's boring as fuck, man. England are just even more boring than David Moyes football. Like, it's boring, man. Like, Southgate is a worse, way worse version of David Moyes. And I wanted Moyes out. So that tells you a lot what I think about Southgate. But as I said, those are the players that are coming back. So it'll be it'll actually be most of the squad. So Souček and Sufal, Areola will be the guys in the Euros. And maybe Jared Bowen. Those will be the people in the Euros. So 4 players from the top of my head. And so we'll have most players back. And we'll have a lot of youngsters that we can watch. We'll see if the likes of... I should be back now. Sorry about that. I don't know why the stream has been so laggy today. I do apologize for everyone at home. We'll see if the likes of Callum Marshall comes back and he doesn't get a loan. Gideon Kudoa, when he comes back from the Wickham loan. Ollie Skulls, we'll see if he gets any game time. Then again, we've got 2 left-backs filled already, so he probably won't get played. But there should be a good amount of youngsters that also come in to the pre-season as well. And we already know, as I've said already, Potts and Earthy will get a chance to prove themselves, to see if they are ready for the first team already. Obviously, Divine Mubama's going... he's going to be released. Ben Johnson's going to be released. Angelo Bonner's going to be released. Joseph Anang's going to be released. So those are the people that are going. They're being released. So they won't be in the preseason. It'll be interesting to see where Ben Johnson goes. Apparently, Mubama's been linked to championship clubs. I know Ben Johnson been linked to Rangers and Crystal Palace. I'm sure. It's not like he's some mad generational talent that we're missing out on, but a lot of people are going to cry over that. I'm not going to cry over Ben Johnson leaving. I'll be completely honest with you. Um, but yeah, that those are the main stories coming out of West Ham at the moment. I don't know whether we're going to go after this Wesley guy, but apparently this Guilhereme guy, Guilherme, he has interest from other Premier League clubs as well. I've seen his name pop up before, but it seems to also be that they're all linked for like 30 million, which doesn't make sense to me. How is that league good? Is that league of much quality then, I assume? Like, because it must have improved if you're going to have the likes of Guilherme and Wesley going in for 30 million. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there because the connection is unstable at the moment, and the connection doesn't seem to be that good. I was planning to stream for a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but I thought I'd do a full video just because to gather all the transfer news put together. We will do more interactive streams, and hopefully the internet will be much better than this. My internet's actually usually quite good, especially on my Mac. So I don't know why it's so bad today, but whatever. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. The social medias are in the description of the normal uploads and the email for the inquiries. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, as I said at the bottom, and I'll see